All right, so let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. I am going to read you something this morning. But if you'll go ahead and take a comfortable seat and either close your eyes or cast your gaze down slightly, find the support beneath you, and lengthen your spine up towards the heavens. So you're rooted into the ground and connected to the sky. And in that space between, find your breath. And either beginning your Ujjayi breathing or the balanced inhale and exhale. Go ahead and make the inhale and the exhale even, honoring the pause that naturally exists between the inhale and the exhale. Knowing that your breathing is connected intimately to every cell in your body. Every cell in your body responds to your breath. So this is written by Floyd Red Crow Westerman. We were told that we would see America come and go. And in a sense, America is dying from within because they forgot the instructions of how to live on Earth. It's the Hopi belief, it's our belief, that if you're not spiritually connected to the Earth and understand the spiritual reality of how to live on Earth, it's likely you will not make it. Everything is spiritual. Everything has a spirit. Everything was brought here by the Creator, the one Creator. Some people call him God. Some people call him Buddha. Some people call him Allah. Some people call him other names. And we call him Tankashila, which I know I'm not saying correctly, or grandfather. We are here on Earth only a few winters. Then we go to the spirit world. The spirit world is more real than most of us believe. The spirit world is everything. Over 95% of our body is water. And in order to stay healthy, you have to drink good water. Water is sacred. Air is sacred. Our DNA is made up of the same DNA as the tree. The tree breathes what we exhale. We need what the tree exhales. So we have a common destiny with the tree. We are all from the earth. And when earth, the water, the atmosphere is corrupted, then it will create its own reaction. In the Hopi Prophecy, they say the storms and the floods will become greater. To me, it's not a negative thing to know that there will be great changes. It is not negative, it's evolution. And when you look at it as evolution, it's time, nothing stays the same. You should learn how to plant something. That is the first connection. Treat all things as spirit. Realize that we are one family. It's never something like the end. It's like life. There is no end to life. So as you are in your seat this morning, I'd like you to imagine the color green. And the color green that we see around us surrounds us in the springtime. There are many hues of green. And I'd like to invite you to allow the color green really to surround you and to be within you. To be within you, within your lungs, within your heart, your lymph nodes, your whole lymphatic system. And to see this color for now, for this practice, as healing and strengthening, as a source of immunity. And then letting go of any control on your breath. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll sing, I'll sing, and maybe you will join me. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Punaktu, Saha Vidyam Karava Va'ai, Teja Svina Tamastu, Ma Vivisha Va'ai. Because as we begin to make a transition, a transition in our lives, so together may we be protected, together may we be nourished, may our practice create great energy, and may that energy help within and without. May our practice illuminate us and others. May it dispel any darkness or any thoughts of ill will for others. Take a deep inhale. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Punaktu, Savidyam Karavavai, Tejasvina Tamastu, Ma Vidyashavai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. And release your hands, lift your gaze. All right, I'd like for you to have a strap this morning. Do you have a strap or a belt or a scarf? And we're gonna do a little work on the floor to begin. So go ahead and come onto your back. Before you lie all the way down, you might wanna make, if you have a strap, you could make a loop in the strap. And then when you're ready, come on down to the ground and lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And when you come to the ground, go ahead and drop back into the presence of your breath. Notice where your body's touching the earth. So the back of the head, your upper back, your pelvis, and your heels, ball of the foot, and all 10 toes. So you're resting down into the earth. And I hope that you actually do this outside sometimes, where you'll just lie down on the ground and look up at the sky through some trees or somewhere, so you can feel again how now, but also when you're outside laying somewhere, that you can feel the earth beneath you. You can feel your connection to the earth. All right, so let's bring your right knee up toward your chest. And you can take the strap and let's take it around right in front of the heel, just so we're going to be a little more connected to the back body, the back of the leg. We're going to grow out of the leg. So make an adjustment to the strap, make it as long as you need it in order to straighten the right leg. You can have both hands on the strap, or you can have the right hand on the strap and the left arm out to the side. And can you bring your attention into the top of the pelvis on the right? And this is when you want to make sure you've given yourself enough strap so that between the crest of the pelvis on your right and all the way excuse me, to the top of the greater trochanter on the right, can you lengthen that space? Make that space longer. So obviously, the front of this space, from that hip point to the greater trochanter, we've got this in maybe 90 degrees right now. But what about the space from the crest of the pelvis to the top of the greater trochanter? What about that space? Can you lengthen it? Okay. And what about the space from the crest of the pelvis to the back of the greater trochanter? And maybe when you put your felt sense in there and you take those two areas apart, you might have felt your leg actually move closer toward your chest. Let's take your left leg now and lengthen it out on the ground. So this is always optional. Taking the leg out on the ground is optional, the left one. If you need to have the left foot on the floor to help support something that's happening in regards to your low back, sacrum, pelvis, then please leave that foot on the ground. Otherwise, some of you might be taking the left leg long, toning the left inner thigh, This connecting, again, noticing the back of the pelvis on the ground. We're going to keep the pelvis level, keep space between the crest of the pelvis and the greater trochanter on the right. Find your breath. And with your next exhale, start to take the leg towards your right. Paying attention to that space, again, between the crest of the pelvis and the back of the greater trochanter. Also, my left leg is toned on the inner thigh, so it's really strong. It's helping me stay connected to the earth. And I noticed too that if I can lose this connection to the earth, if I like just for a moment, I go, oh, my leg, there it goes out. And then all of a sudden I find myself tilting to the right. So what do I have to do? And what do you need to do in order to bring the pelvis back to level so that you're still staying connected to the ground on the left side of your body? You're not losing that connection. We want the right leg to be moving independently, as independent as it can be from the pelvis. And then with your next inhale, lift the leg back to vertical. Pause with it in vertical. Let's switch hands on the strap. So the left hand comes to the strap, right arm out. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, still keeping this space between the crest of the pelvis on the right and the back of the greater trochanter on the right, or the top, bring this leg a little towards midline. Are you still reaching out the inner heel as much as the outer heel? And then we'll inhale, bring the leg back up to vertical. I'm going to go back to my right hand on the strap, or maybe both hands, as I'm pausing in vertical. And then bend your knee, the right leg. And let's take the right leg and rest it alongside your left leg. And noticing, what is the back of the pelvis like on the right? What's the right glute feel like as it connects to the ground, as it's resting on the earth? What is your breath in the right lung? How does that compare to your left one? And then let's bend both knees. So we have both feet on the ground, and we'll bring the left leg up. And we'll take the strap in front of the left heel, either taking it with both hands or just with your left hand, reaching through both the inner and outer heel of the straight leg. That doesn't mean I have to draw the toes down towards my nose. I kind of try to reach out my leg that's lifted evenly, inner and outer. And you might straighten the right leg on the ground, or you might keep the right foot on the floor. And then going to the top of your pelvis on the left, the crest of the pelvis. How do you put your felt sense, your awareness between the crest of the pelvis on the left and the top of the left greater trochanter? And can you create more length right there between those two bones? And from the crest of the pelvis to the back of that outer hip, greater trochanter on the left. And I know that when I look out in nature, I also see the color green, and I see different textures in the leaves and in the branches. So working with that, we have different textures over in this, between the crest of the pelvis and the left outer hip. Try to put your felt sense there. And let the color of green even, how can that reach all the way up the back of your left leg? And with your next exhale, begin to take the left leg towards the left. The right leg on the ground is steady. The right leg has some tone at the inner thigh, drawing to that inseam that we've been talking about. And that tone is all the way up into the right low belly. Inhale, lift the left leg back up. We can switch hands on your strap. So switching to your right hand, left arm out. But sometimes when I do that, I find myself shortening the space at the left outer hip. Can you go back in and keep space between the top of the pelvis and the outer hip there? So lengthen. Even as the leg, it comes a little across midline. Let's keep the left side of the sacrum on the ground. And deep breathing, please. Deep breathing. And then let's inhale, come all the way back up to vertical. Bend your left knee, take your strap off, and let's rest the left leg alongside the right leg. And as you're resting here, you feel the back of the pelvis, the sacrum on the ground. You feel that as it touches the ground. And you might get a sense of, does one side of the sacrum have a different textural quality than the other? Just like a plant, oftentimes there'll be one part of the plant that has a different quality, same plant, than the other part. And on the part that feels like there's more moisture, more broadness, Can you take a little of that moisture, and with your felt sense, how can you help moisturize the other side? Like you're irrigating over there, allowing that tissue to also be more moist, more vibrant, less brittle. And then bend one knee, one foot on the ground, and then the other knee. Both feet are on the ground. You can put your strap aside. So now you're going to bring your right knee up to the chest, and then take your right hand to your knee. Your left hand might be at the ankle or the outer heel. So as you're kind of rotating the right hip out towards the right, so you're taking greater trochanter away from the crest of the pelvis. You're physically moving that now. And then you're going to bring your right thigh closer to your mid body. So it's almost like a Gomukhasana leg on this side, almost, as in the right thigh is coming towards midline. I do want to have the right side of my sacrum is still on the ground. I am noticing in my own body anyway, the rotators of the right outer hip. I feel those. So using your breath, again, remembering how the breath affects the nervous system, how the breath communicates to the body. And then we'll come back to center, and let's put that foot on the ground. So even there, if you feel a difference between the back of the right and the back of the left. Okay, and then let's do the other side. So we bring the left knee to the chest, turn the left knee a little out. You might grab onto the right ankle. You might be grabbing onto the right shin. And I have my foot as if it's on the ground. And then I'm going to I'm taking the left outer hip is away from the crest of the pelvis. And then I'm going to start to shift my left thigh a little more towards the right, a little more like it's coming over the center of my body. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to place both feet on the ground. And then I'm going to bring both knees up, take the knees wide, grab onto my shins or ankles like a reclined Baddha Konasana. My feet don't need to be touching. In fact, I'm going to have my feet a few inches from each other. I feel the back of the sacrum on the ground. I have my elbows or forearms kind of by the inner thigh. Then we'll bring the knees together, and we're going to roll over to one side. Use the arms to push yourself up and come to all fours. All fours, table. Exhale, take the right leg back, toes tucked under. And so, Carol, when you injure, if you have an injury to the low back, this is a really good one to do because it's asking us to find the muscles at the front of the spine, the little multifidi muscles that stitch each bone together. They cross every joint at the front of the spine, like a little zigzag kind of thing. And then let's take left arm out to the side. So there's some tone at the front of the spine. And then some of us will lift up the right leg and bring the left arm forward. Exhale, lower, knee, arm. Inhale in the middle. Exhale, left leg back, toes on the ground. Tone deep in the belly, all the way from the left inner thigh. That's toning towards the inseam. Right arm out. And then lifting the leg and bringing the arm forward. So even as if the spine is like the center of the plant or the tree or whatever, and the leg and the arm are these appendages, the center is still supporting. It's still supporting all this movement. So as you pick up the left leg and you take the right arm forward, it's the center that is the most important part. Otherwise, if that isn't stable, then often, then branches fall off and limbs are lost, as in trees. So another deep inhale. Exhale, lower. And then take child's pose. In your child's pose, if it's okay with the knees and the ankles, can you prioritize a long low back? Can the knees be together? You can take a block or a blanket or however much height you need to go underneath the forehead in order to reach the sit bones towards the heels. To lengthen the spine, to lengthen through that whole back body. And then we'll walk the hands back, tuck your toes under, and you're going to come up to standing. All right, so in standing, we're going to take a wide stance. And let's also have, in this wide stance, we might want to block to be at the right outer shin. Because we're going to take warrior two, a rising warrior, and side angle pose. All right, so we're turning the feet to the left. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, warrior two. So as you reach all the way into the back heel, and then relax the back arm. But still strong with the legs. Inhale, a rising warrior. Exhale, side angle, Baddha Konasana. How does the back leg help keep you rooted right now? As the arms, like the leaves, moving. Lengthening, elongating. And then we'll inhale, come up. Straighten the front leg, Spin the feet the other way. Take your prop to the other side. And if I have like an injury or something that's shown up for me, then my props, I'm going to be really in favor of using a lot of support, because I'm nurturing. I'm nurturing, like there's a little, oh, what happened piece. But with that support, you can keep changing it, growing, right? It's just like we do in the garden. We go, oh, that needs a little help right now, a little support. Same thing, we do too. Inhale, take the arms out. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. So there's a lot of strength through the back inner thigh, stabilizing you. When you're ready, inhale, rising warrior. Exhale, side angle. Even the days that I was gone in California, so much growth happened here in Oregon. So to come back and see the plants and the greens changing. So as you, right now, here you are in your side angle. How do you keep growing? Where's your length? Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, straighten the front leg. If you need blocks, bring them around to be in front of you. You're making your feet parallel, hands up on the hips. Lift through the top of the breastbone. And exhale, bow forward. Hands come down to the earth. And then walk the hands forward, downward dog arms. Balance the weight between the ball of the foot and the heel. Reach into the hands, into the finger pads. You could either be up on the finger pads if you want to. And again, hands can be on blocks or on the ground. And strongly reaching from the lower adductor, the lower inner thigh, all the way into the inner heel. And from the outer heel, rising all the way up to the outer hip. Then let's walk the hands back. Bring the wrists under the shoulders. Again, blocks are an option. Bring your right hand into that space between your two hands. Okay, so we want the pelvis to be level. We're going to take a twist. So right hand comes into the space. Let's take left hand on the hip and then begin reaching down into the ground. Lengthening out the crown of your skull. And then beginning to turn towards the left. Am I still lengthening through? So are you lengthening through the crown of the skull? My goodness, yeah. And exhale back to center. Let's switch hands. Reaching into the ground from the back of the left shoulder, top of the left shoulder blade, all the way down into that hand. Other hand comes to the hip. Keep reaching to the earth. Reach down into the ground. Lengthen through the crown of your skull as your heart turns towards your right. Kind of like how the plants turn. They turn during the day. They turn towards where the light is. And exhale, come back to center. Now bow forward. You can walk your hands closer towards the space between the feet or somewhere in there. Relaxing yourself down, strong legs. And then we'll walk the hands back out. Shift them up to your hips. And inhale, come up to standing. Great. And then we'll exhale, either heel toe, step, or hop your feet back to center. Relax both arms. Find the weight back in the heels slightly. Where's the base of the skull? Where is your back body? Inhale, lift both arms. Reach up towards the sky and exhale. Bring your hands down in front of your heart. 2 more times. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. And 1 more. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your arms, and hands back in Anjali Mudra. Pulling in that whole color of green, bathing over your whole body. We are fortunate, we are lucky to live in places where we have so many remarkable trees. And then releasing both arms. Great. All right, so can we take a sun salutation? So bring your blocks to the top of your mat. And bring your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, lift both arms, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Just like the plant, bowing down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step your right foot back. So on the back foot, you feel the ball of the right foot, the big toe. Feel that area root back. Also the left heel. And inhale, upright. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bowing forward. Let's step to plank. Exhale, lightly touch the knees down. And bring your chest to the ground. And you might bring the forehead down. So you feel the tops of the feet, the tops of your knees, rooting into the ground. And with your next inhale, take a cobra pose. Like lifting up, just like the plant lifts up towards the sun. Exhale, lower. And can you do that 2 more times? Take your time. One more little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, all fours. Plank and either puppy or downward facing dog. So you're reaching into the earth from the shoulder blades to the upper arms, down the center of the arm to the finger pads and the knuckles. The rib cage moving toward your pelvis, so the spine is getting longer. You're reaching in these 2 directions, lengthening, breathing. Inhale deeply. And with the next exhale, let's step the right foot forward. You can always pull the blocks back in. Reaching back into the big toe of the back foot, the front heel. And when you're ready, inhale upright. And your inhale, arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway. And exhale, bow. Inhale, rise all the way up. Lift your arms up to the sky. And exhale your hands back in front of your heart. Let's take one more sun salutation. Really honoring the earth, our connection to the earth, remembering that we are nature, we are like the tree. So with each exhale that we make, the tree can inhale. The photosynthesis that happens in all the leaves, all the green, it's just remarkable. And so in the inhale, we get to breathe in what the tree, the oxygen, what the tree gives back to us. And this is going on all the time without us ever having to think about it. Release your hands and inhale, upright arms. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Your inhale, halfway. Your exhale, downward facing dog. Your inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, right foot forward. Just, again, connecting to the earth, finding that strength from pressing into the ground, and then inhale. Take your time as you rise. Just like the green plants rise. They're moving all the time. It's happening. And sometimes we see that change, and sometimes the change is more subtle. Inhale the arms back out, and exhale, plank pose. Exhale, your knees touch, and the chest comes down. Your inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all fours. Plank. And exhale, downward facing dog or puppy. Deep breathing. The gift. You might see if you can do the balanced inhale and exhale here. Sometimes on the exhale, it's easier to really connect into the ground, to feel the support of the earth as you reach, and then keep that length with your inhale. All right, and then with your next inhale, let's lift. Which leg was it? I think the left one. And exhale, left foot forward. Rooting into the earth. Find the strength all the way back to the back leg. And when you're ready, upright. The earth is filled with grace, and each of us are born with that grace, always with us. We'll inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands back, Anjali Mudra. Standing in mountain pose, you're welcome to close your eyes. And I just invite you again to bathe yourself with the color of green. We're more in this time when the colors are getting a darker green. There's a variety of green. And see if you can allow that to come all the way around your body and in your body. Helping with your immunity, your strength, as you prepare to maybe, step out into the world. And then let's relax that. All right, so can we, I think we did this last week, or maybe it was the week before or something, but we've done this, we've done this before. And what we're gonna do is going to be, let's see, I'll move this like that. It's gonna be triangle pose with the option of stepping to half moon pose and then back to triangle pose and upright. So it'll be something, let's see. I might take my hand to my hip as I get oriented to this triangle. When I go to half moon, I take a baby step, move my block, and then begin to lift. I can either keep the gaze down when you step back, you bend the front knee. You can step back towards triangle if you like. And then back upright. All right, let's try it. Let's go to your right side first. So you're gonna turn right foot out, left foot in. Have a block at the right outer foot. And then when you're ready, inhale the arms out. And exhale to triangle. You can take the hand on the hip. Balance the weight in the hips. So you really reach all the way into the back heel. Lengthen out the front inner thigh. Turn the heart towards the sky. If you want, reach the arm up, triangle. And really feel yourself reaching through both legs. You're rooting into the ground. Inhale deeply, you're gonna exhale. Release the top arm. Bend the front knee and take a little baby step. Shift your block forward. And then lift the back leg. Maybe the gaze. Exhale, bend the back knee. Step back. Straighten the front leg. There's triangle. Take your time. And inhale, come up. Let's just step the feet together for a moment before we do the second side. Surprises, they show up all the time. Like, I know I always was so much more stable on my right leg. Now I'm more stable on my left. I love that there's this dynamic piece. So just like nature, nothing is always going to be the same, right? Every day it's different. We just get into thinking that we're in the same until suddenly we're not. We have to really adjust. Let's step the feet wide apart. Let's spin the feet to your left. There's your block. When you're ready, with your breath, inhale, take the arms out. And exhale to triangle pose. You can take the hand to the hip. If that helps you to really get balanced in the legs, to feel yourself reaching into the earth, turn the heart towards the sky and reach your arm up. Can you bathe in the color green right now in triangle? Can it surround and infuse you? And then you'll release the top arm. Begin to bend the front knee. Take a small step. Move the block. And then launch yourself up onto that front leg. Half moon. Both legs are strong. Bend your front knee. The toes touch down. You move the block. Triangle again. How's your breathing? Inhale, come up. Exhale, spin the front foot in and step the feet together. Close your eyes. Again, can you get this? Let the color green come in. Green, if we were thinking of color, green is a very healing color. And as you stand, you feel yourself a part of nature. Great. All right. So let's come down to the ground. And you can sit either on a blanket or a block. We're going to take Marichyasana 3, the twist of Marichyasana 3. So when you come to the ground, you could either sit on a block if you like, or you might sit on a blanket. And let's take your right leg straight and bend your left knee. And sometimes it's nice if you need another block to be back behind you, off to your left. So you have your right leg straight, left knee bent, left foot on the ground. I feel a little short. I sat on a blanket and I feel like, I want a little more height. There we go. That's better. All right. So inhaling, lengthening all the way up through the core of your being. Just like that could be the inner thigh of the straight leg, the front of your spine, your breath. And then as you exhale, turn towards your left. So the left hand comes behind you. The right hand could be either hugging the knee or the elbow to the outside of the knee. And let's turn and look at your big toe. So you're turning the torso away, but the gaze toward the big toe. Oh yeah. Between the crest of the pelvis on the bent knee side and the back of the greater trochanter on that side. Make space there. And then release. Second side. So you're drawing your left foot in. Other leg is strong. Your right foot in, left leg out. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale as you start turning towards the bent knee. Hand behind you. And just for that little extra bit of work through the upper back and neck, we turn from the torso goes to the right and the head turns back towards the straight leg to look at the big toe. And from the crest of the pelvis on the bent knee side to the greater trochanter on that side, can you create more length? And can we infuse again, just like the plants, all the leaves, all the green. And exhale back to center. And then make sure to sit up high enough to take Baddha Konasana. So for Baddha Konasana, I'm actually going to sit on at least 2 folded blankets. And to take I want my knees to be a little lower than those hip points. So make yourself high enough. And then you might just hold on to the shins. Right. Then take your hands under your knees and bring them back to center. Okay, so before we come to Shavasana, I want to invite you to take the pranayama. I think Chris always calls it like yogi mudra. So if I sit like this, where I'm sitting back on my heels, I have a block here. I'm going to want to rest my forehead down on something. And I'm going to loosely put my hands behind me. So I'm going to clasp one hand onto one wrist. There's nothing tense about that. This is completely relaxed. The inhale, I'll be upright. The exhale, I'm going to bow forward. Suspend the exhale for as long as it's comfortable. Inhale, come back up. So it'll look something like this. Can you do this for at least 3 breaths? You're holding the exhale out just as long as it's comfortable. When you feel the urge to inhale, bring yourself back upright with your inhale. If you do 3 of these yogi mudras, and then you'll take Shavasana. So go ahead and do this at your own pace. The exhale, you're bowing forward, letting the exhale last all the way down. The forehead will touch. You'll hold the breath out. And when you feel the need to inhale, begin to rise all the way back up. And the exhale, if it's comfortable, go down again. And then you'll bring yourself to Shavasana, resting. Just allowing yourself again to rest down into the earth. You are completely supported by nature, by the ground, by the earth. Allow yourself to rest into that support, to feel the care and nurturing. And surround yourself within and without with the green color. with each, without controlling the breath at all, but just knowing that as the tree exhales, you receive that inhale. And right now, as you rest into the earth, you're resting into the support, the root system, all that goes on within you and with outside of you. Always supportive, always present. Everything is spiritual. Everything has a spirit. Everything was brought here by the Creator, the one Creator. Some call him God. Some people call him Buddha. Some people call him Allah. Some people call other names. In the Hopi, we call him Grandfather. Our DNA is made up of the same DNA as the tree. The tree breathes what we exhale. We need what the tree exhales. So we have a common destiny with the tree. In the Hopi Prophecy, they say the storms and the floods will become greater. To me, it is not a negative thing to know there will be great changes. It is not negative. It's evolution. And when you look at it as evolution, it's time. Nothing stays the same. You should learn to plant something. That is the first connection. Treat all things as spirit. Realize that we are one family. It's never something like the end. It's like life. There is no end to life. So as you allow your breath to deepen, to surround you inside and out, that gift, the blessing of your breath, and awakening your body to movement. Make a mindful transition over to one side. Use the support of your arms as you come back to sitting. And honoring the gift of your presence, and the gift of being here. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.